Hi everyone, we're going to start seeing the question types for the reading section of the IELTS. We're going to start with the multiple choice question type. Remember, this doesn't mean that the multiple choice question type is the first question type that you're going to get in your reading section. It's just a specific or random order in which we're going to study them. But remember, there's no specific order for the appearance of the question types. So what does the question, multiple choice question look like? It looks like this. It may ask you to choose the correct letter between A, B, or C, between 3 options. Or it may also ask you to choose the correct letter between 4 options. Sometimes it may even ask you to choose 2 correct letters or 2 correct options between among a set of options. Now, what do we want to do when we solve this question type? What is the strategy to follow? So what we're going to do is we're going to read the question every time. For every single question, we're going to read the question first just to make sure what question type we're in so we don't make any mistake. We're going to find the specific keywords in the question, okay? And then we're going to scan. Again, don't read. We're just going to scan and find those specific keywords. When we look for those specific keywords, remember, it's not a matter of just you either find a word or not. So it's not like you want the exact same word letter by the letter, because we're going to also want to look for synonyms or concepts. So maybe we don't find the exact word. Maybe we find a synonym, or maybe we find a set of words, like a phrase or a full sentence that means or pretty much explains the concept of the keyword. And finally, if we don't, if you don't find the answer, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use process of elimination to eliminate the wrong choices. Again, there's a specific video for process of elimination in this channel. Okay, things that we don't want to do, we don't want to assume, so it is what it is. Remember the principle of only the information in the text exists, which means if the text says something, that something is the correct thing. We don't assume that the text meant this or that thing. Whatever the text said, that's it, right? Do not autocorrect. Again, if you find that the text says something that you know to be factually incorrect because that's a topic that you really know a lot about it, you just don't autocorrect. Remember, whatever you know from real life in the real world, it doesn't exist. That information doesn't exist. Don't be unspecific. So we're gonna see pretty much this is the opposite of just be specific every time. Be specific. And remember, don't try to understand everything you read. Again, if you already naturally understand it, fine, correct, that's perfect. But don't push yourself. Don't force yourself to understand everything you read. Okay, process of elimination. Again, as I told you, this has its own videos. Okay, to explain. By basically, we're going to eliminate based on whether we have the wrong word, meaning the word in the answer doesn't match the word in the text. To have an extreme word, which means, let's say the text is just saying like most humans are right-handed, so you do not infer that all humans are right-handed. We also focus on opposite information. In the specific video, you're going to see how you can fall for this. Out of scope, meaning the topic in the answer or the alternative, sorry, is not even mentioned, is not even part of the topic in the text. And true but not my answer, meaning the alternative is in the text, is stated literally there in the text, but it's not answering the specific question that is requiring you the answer. So let's do a little bit of practice. You can pause the video here, and we're going to look at the question first. This time, we're not going to look at the text, okay? I'm going to try to teach you how you can just pretty much get it without reading text. Again, you have to skim the text just to locate it or to kind of have an idea of the structure of the information, but you don't really have to read it first, okay? So this is the question. You can pause the video so you can read the question. Okay, you can notice that it's a multiple choice question because literally you have like multiple choices there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look for the keyword, right? So we're going to, well, this is the text. Okay, and we're going to analyze the alternatives. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look for the keywords. So in the question, we're looking for the mid-70s. So when you look for a text, I actually have cropped this. Okay, so I already moved to the specific part of the text that is talking about the mid-70s. But how do you know that this is the part of the text in which you have to look for? Because it literally has the keyword, like mid-70s. And here mid-70s, right? Okay, so now we look at the alternatives. It says, let's analyze one by one. A, the best architects were no longer using the international style. So we go to the text and try to find the keywords that are in the alternative A. So I'm gonna switch the color. So we have the best architects, and we have the word architects here. Okay, demanded very little of architects. We don't have any reference to the best architects. Okay, just by that, if you have seen, or when you see the video for process of elimination, you can see that the word best actually is an extreme word, which means when you have superlatives like best, worst, the most, least, or the greatest, or any other superlative, that itself is an extreme word, which means if that word is not in the text, okay, then you cannot use it. You don't know whether they are the best or not. They are just architects, okay? Now, that's kind of the superficial reason, but it's still a valid reason, okay? Because remember, we don't have to understand. Now, if you go deep into a more deep reason, you can see that they saying like they were not using the international style. So here we don't know whether they're being used or not. It has nothing, says nothing about being used or not. Okay, now we look alternative B. There was a lot of international style architecture in major cities. So we go to the keywords major cities and a lot of that. So when we see the alternative, we don't find the expression major cities, but we find key urban centers, and we don't find the expression a lot of, but we find ubiquitous, which yes, it does imply that you need a little bit more vocabulary, but the meaning of ubiquitous means that something that you can find in a lot of places or mostly everywhere. Okay, so if you think about it, B is the answer because it matches, a lot of matches with ubiquitous, and major cities matches with key urban centers. Again, we didn't find the exact same words, but we definitely found a match. Okay, we're still gonna keep looking at the alternatives. Let's see alternative C. Young architects were becoming interested in the international style. So we go ahead and look for the word architects. Again, it doesn't say anything about being young architects. It only says the word architects. So just by that superficial reason, yes, we can eliminate this just by that superficial reason. Now, they do have the word young here, right? But they don't say younger generation of architects. It says younger generation of designers, which again, maybe the designers are the architects, but it's just younger generation. It doesn't say anything about young architects. And then they say that they are becoming interested, but actually they are becoming uninterested, right? So you can have always a superficial reason, which is still a valid enough reason, and then you can, of course, go deeper into the question to see what is the actual root of the reason that is not the right information. So it's not that one. We're going to see the last one. People visited cities specifically to see international style buildings. So we go to the people visiting, we go to travelers. So travelers are people visiting, okay? Again, it's not the exact same word, but it matches. This matches to this. And then they say specifically to see. But the text says that these travelers actually complain that they could get off the plane and not know where they were. So where they are actually complaining about the international style. So it's pretty much kind of the opposite of going to see the international style buildings, right? So this one will be an opposite information mistake. Again, you have to find the match, and you have to match both, like the keywords and the information. Here, for example, we match the keywords. Again, not exactly the same words, but the information in the keywords. So the answer will be B. Okay, remember two things. You want to find the answer in the text. The answer has to be in the text. The answer will always be in the text. You always have to match the keywords. Maybe not exactly the same word, not exactly letter by letter, but it has to be there. Everything has to match. And remember, you want to eliminate using process of elimination. Again, my recommendation is that you read this or that you watch the specific video for process of elimination. So I go more in depth as to how to eliminate the incorrect answers. Okay, try to practice some more. Again, my advice for you, if you are not really that bad, is just go ahead and practice with full practice tests. I will put the link in the description. If not, you can go and practice with the skill building exercises that are in the official guidebook. And that's it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave any questions you may have in the comments. And see you on the next video when we will continue with the next question types. Bye.